The next day, Misha cooked food for Bjorn and asked him if something had happened to him. Bjorn said no and asked her why she was asking. Misha told him she felt there was a violent spark in his eyes. Hearing this, Bjorn realized he might have been cold toward her. He reflected that his frustration was his own problem, and he shouldn't have taken it out on others. As Bjorn was deep in thought, Misha approached him and asked if he wanted to touch her ears. Bjorn spit out his food in shock. Misha explained that, when they were young, her oldest brother had told her that touching her ears made him feel better. She clarified that she was talking about her oldest brother, not the one Bjorn had met, and that he was still kind to her. But Bjorn thought, what kind of pervert am I dealing with? He realized this was why the environment a person grows up in matters. Misha looked at him with innocent eyes, genuinely trying to be nice, probably unaware that anything she said could be inappropriate. Bjorn told her, "You shouldn't say things like that to others. They might misunderstand you." Misha seemed confused. What would they misunderstand? Bjorn thought to himself that if he didn't know Misha was into skinnier men, he might have thought she was trying to seduce him. In fact, she was trying to seduce him, but he hadn't figured it out yet. "You're not like other people, Bjorn," Misha said. Bjorn replied sternly, "Don't talk back. Just say you understand." Misha shrugged. "All right, but if that's not what you want, do you want meat instead? I wonder if she means meat in a different way." After that, Bjorn headed to the library. There, he and Latna exchanged greetings. Bjorn said, "I need to ask you something, but you can go first. Say whatever you were planning to say." Latna was surprised. "How do you always know I have something to say?" Bjorn smirked. "Your eyes give it away." Latna hesitated before speaking. "I'm not entirely sure, but I think I should warn you." Bjorn's expression didn't change. "Spit it out." Latna didn't seem bothered by his brusque manner. She explained, "As an explorer, this might concern you. A dimension collapse might happen soon in the labyrinth. Dimension collapse is a major disaster within the labyrinth, far worse than a floor lord's appearance. It only happens once every 100 or so cycles." Bjorn thought to himself that this explained the recent peaceful period. When he didn't react visibly, Latna assumed he didn't believe her. "If you don't believe me, just ignore it," she said. Bjorn asked, "Where did you get this information?" "From Sharnal Fergan, a mage from the Tarupane school. They've been studying dimension collapses for a long time," she replied. Bjorn thanked her for the warning and promised to investigate further. "You're leaving already?" Latna asked. Bjorn gave a simple, "yeah," and left. Bjorn now had a new quest, so he decided to focus on that first. At first, he couldn't find anything about Sharnal Fergan and began to doubt the mage's existence. But after 10 days, rumors of the dimension collapse started spreading rapidly. Bjorn found it suspicious. Such rumors usually required evidence, but none existed. This made him wonder if someone was intentionally spreading the rumor. Frustrated, Bjorn wanted to gather information from hidden sources, but as a barbarian, he had no access to such circles. He realized he only had one option left: taking a pill. He had planned to wait 3 months before using it, but circumstances forced his hand. Bjorn swallowed the pill and waited until midnight. As soon as the clock struck 12, his soul was pulled into another realm, a spirit realm. His soul took the form of his Earth self. Back on Earth, in a police station, officers were investigating his disappearance. His company had reported him missing after he hadn't shown up to work for a month. The officers had notified his mother, but she told them she didn't care. A member of the Violent Crime Division asked another officer, "Why is a missing person case being handed over to us?" The other officer replied, "We reviewed the security footage. It shows him entering his home, but there's no record of him leaving. All the windows were locked from the inside, which makes this case suspicious." The violent crime officer read through the case file and noted that it was different from most missing person cases. There were no signs of a break-in, and nothing was stolen. If the man had run away, he would have used his credit card, but there had been no activity for an entire month. Even more unsettling, the clothes he'd last been seen wearing were left draped over a chair, as if his body had simply vanished while he was still in them. "This case is strange," the officer muttered. "We should request assistance from the National Forensic Service." "Wait, there's more," the other officer said, pointing to the computer monitor found in Bjorn's room. The violent crime officer's jaw dropped. The computer wasn't even plugged in, but it was running. The screen displayed a list of all Bjorn's achievements in the new world. "What the hell is this?" the crime officer asked. "I looked into it," the other officer replied. "There are a few similar cases overseas." Back in the spirit realm, Bjorn reflected on his situation. It had been several months since he'd come to this new world, and during that time, he had done many barbaric things to survive. He wondered if he still retained his modern mindset despite everything he had been through. When he saw the computer in front of him, he instinctively started typing. The screen only displayed a password field. This reminded him of a strange letter he had received from other players. It had read, "P.S. The King of Repdonia is a motherfucker." Bjorn instantly recognized the hint and typed in the password. The room around him began to shift, recreating his old room from Earth with remarkable accuracy. It looked almost real. He rushed to the fridge, flung it open, and found cans of Coke inside. Excited, he grabbed a can, popped it open, and took a long sip, hoping to taste the familiar flavor he had missed for so long. But to his disappointment, it tasted like nothing. There was no carbonation, no sweetness, just the dull sensation of drinking water. A knock came from the door. A voice from the other side asked, "Can I come in?"